And we're live with something brand new. Still playing with the title too, but that was a conversation we had last night, right? We had some conversation yesterday. So we're calling this currently Grok My Groove, and it's kind of like a watch me work or sharing, how we do things, but part of it the why, the process, and then just doing it real time. So I'm here with my friend Nameh. And today, just a little bit of background. I've been asked a number of times if I would show how I use ChatGPT. And I got to tell you, I use it maybe once or twice a week. I don't use it a ton. So I'm always surprised at why people keep asking me how I use it based on some of the images I create. But I think it's because I figured out a little secret sauce of preloading or tweaking ChatGPT that it's expressing me quite well for me without me having to tune it much at all. And so I end up just having kind of a conversation with it all the time. So I'm going to show you what I did to date and how I got there. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Am I allowed to ask any question, like the basics of basics of basics?
Of course. Would you like to ask me right now?
Yes. My brain is like, can't continue digesting information until I ask.
Yep.
Do you pay for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I haven't actually looked at the pricing of ChatGPT in a while, because when I first started, I actually had to use an American credit card even to use it. Like 2 years ago, it was actually difficult to get it for a bit. Now you can actually have teams. And so my wife and I have individual accounts, because once you start tuning it for yourself, like she was using my account for a while and it kept calling her dude because that's how I like to be addressed. And, I told it I wanted, I'm a drummer. And so it said everything's groovy or, get in rhythm. And she's like, those aren't my words. So she needed her own ChatGPT account. So I feel like we pay $20 a month per account. But I'll tell you, it's like, as far as I'm concerned, what your time's worth, it's absolutely worth it. Like,
great.
The free version will get me what I need, but the paid one gives you DALL-E, which is what you use for creating images. So DALL-E, plus a bunch of other plugins, plus access to the larger data set of ChatGPT 4. So, like, to me, $20 a month, it save hundreds, tens of thousands of dollars of time easily at this point. So it's kind of for me, it's a no-brainer. All that said, too, I haven't actually looked at what Microsoft's doing. I won't look at what Google's doing. And I'm probably most interested in what Elon's doing with, aren't they calling theirs Grok, actually? So I think they are, or Jarvis, something like that. Anyways, I'll probably look at that next. But as I say, I don't use this that much, mostly because I don't want to do work, being honest. So I just kind of like drag my feet into it. But I want to show you how I pre-tuned it before, and a big part of it is plugging my design into it, like as far as like having it pre-understand me even before I ask it a question. But then what I'm hoping we'll do today is I've been talking about wanting to improve it forever, and I just never sat down. And I think it's partly because, I talk human design with people all day, but I don't have the recall on gates and center or channels and the energies from it. Plus, I think doing this in conversation and collaboration, probably just you're going to see my outer authority more so than I will even. So it'd be interesting to talk about that to improve it. So does that work for you?
Yeah, I think my only other question, and this might be more techie than you want to go, does it matter PC versus Mac? I heard you say PC.
Did I say PC? Yeah. No, it's an app. So it's a web page.
Got it.
Like, I typically use it on my iPhone, my iPad. They recently created a proper app for the Mac, so that's what I'll probably show today because it'll fit on the big screen. But I'm sure they've got 100% sure they've got a Windows version. But at the end of the day, it is a software as a service application, which means everything's actually being done in the back end, and you're just connecting to it with a client. So the client could be your iPhone app, your iPad app, your web page, your Windows or Mac app. So it's multi-platform. So,
and I think one more.
Yes.
So the output. So like to orient why I maybe felt the energy to like ping you about this. is I find how you created the "But wait, there's more" image with Dr.
Mhm.
Eleanor is really evocative, really, conveys the energy that it attracts me to wanna watch those episodes, like,
Cool.
so that image. So and where the thread I'm going to is when you create it, is it now in essence yours? Or is it copywritten, all of that kind of dot connections?
Wow. A lot of questions I can probably answer there. I will say one thing that you can't like ask it to do. So I was making an image for. I did a blog post on mushrooms, and I think it's Gate Zero, and my mycelium are using Elon to build rockets so they can get back to Mars. Right? Like to me, I think the mushrooms are in his head and infiltrated, and they're going to get there soon. So but try asking, and I wanted a thumbnail or an image for that of Elon. Well, Elon Musk is one of the protected words in there, much like any politician's name or anything. You can't even say like if I wanted, I'd say draw a picture of an image of me on the drums wearing a animal from the Muppets T-shirt. It
Mhm.
would say no, can't do that. Animal from the Muppets is a copyrighted character. So
Got
then you have to say, oh, well, draw a cuddly but manic little short man with crazy red hair. Or what I would actually normally do is find an image of animal, upload it, and ask it to describe the image to me. At which point it describes it, and then I say, okay, great. Now make an image based on the description, and it effectively draws something close enough to animal. So,
Great.
and it's a great question because I've actually learned so much talking to ChatGPT about
Mm.
art. Like, at one point I was like, I really didn't like what it was producing because everything was all clip arty looking.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, give me the top 5 types of artistic styles and a brief description of each. And so it said, oh, well, there's impressionistic and there's abstract. Because if you say make an image in the style of Monet, it won't do that. But if you say what style of art does Monet do and what kind of characteristics it might have, it'll give you that description. At which point you can then say, okay, great, make an image of my friend Nameh in a park talking to a duck, in an impressionistic form and keep it playful and use a purple
Nice.
hue, right? Like that's how I talk to it.
Great.
So,
Okay, I lied. One more question.
okay.
You said art, and so that prompted me, is it image only, or could you also do like, "Hey, create an intro song?" Kind of like how we were starting our conversation today.
I'm sure you could with other platforms. And again, as I say, I don't even actually do it that often. That I've only ever needed images. I
Mm,
mean, I could sure use some videos, but I don't think that's included in ChatGPT 4's paid subscription. It's possible it is because
mhm.
there's all sorts of plugins being added all the time that I don't actually know. We could probably find out fairly quickly. If you want, we could do that as an experiment later too. Um, I definitely have not been terribly interested in video because it's already hard enough to get an image that it doesn't slightly butcher that I'd just be arguing with it all day. I mean, like if you ask for an image and say like, uh, make an image of Name in a park, but because we're talking about astrology, put lots of um, astrology symbols in the background. Sure as shit, and it's gonna actually put the labels underneath them. Like it'll say Jupiter or Scorpio, but then it even makes typos with it. And then you're arguing with it going, well, okay, I want an image with no text on it. And it goes, okay, great, here's your image with text on it. It'll have twice as much text. So like there's still certain things that are not like you pretty much want to get your image right the first couple of passes or start
Mhm.
over
Mm,
versus constantly feeding it information because it seems to get into like a nested loop and it's like, well, just you end up with just some really wacky stuff. So I've definitely I think I even captured a video of myself laughing my ass off because I asked it to make a image of my the friends and my band. We were doing a gig on a weekend, and I started a Facebook thread, and you can assign a group avatar for that thread,
mm.
and I'll even go into ChatGPT and just say make an image of this, so I can give it a truly unique group image. Well, Armin is from the Philippines, and so I would say, okay, well, please draw Armin on the keyboard. He's from the Philippines, and then it would draw this person with dreadlocks, or a blonde person. I was then having an argument with it, and then I'd say, well, okay, you got him right, but now I'm not the drummer, and then all of a sudden, now it swaps our positions, and now
Mm.
Armin has a purple mohawk, and you're just like watching this shit show unfold. So it can be fun if you've got the time to waste. So, all right. So maybe what we'll do, I'll share my screen, and what you're looking at here is the ChatGPT Mac app. Oops, on maximized on my screen. So I could, and I may even show you on the iPhone later, especially if I do some of the voice dictation stuff, like actually talking to it. But for example, even for today, for this Grok, um, for this stream that we're doing, I created a quick thumbnail, right? So I was talking about how I kind of came up with the idea of Grok My Groove in our conversation. And then you can see it just starts, I'm asking it to create an image. And, I forgot to ask for impressionistic or artistic. So that's what I mean. Like, if you don't specify an art style, you're pretty much going to get some sort of Microsoft Office clip arty version of things. It's just going to go, well, here's 10 things he asked for, throw it on a page. So then I was like, oh, okay, wait, let's go abstract. But even that was still super cheesy. But I'm a 3.5, and one thing I have since, I'm pretty sure, like for me, the phrase "third time's the charm" is almost what happens. So sure enough, the third image, pretty good. It looks original-ish. It looks unique. I almost went with that, but then I realized, well, if I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different things that I'm interested in, they maybe should be in the image. So then I said, well, you know what? Throw in drums and Reiki and meditation and pickleball. And you can see this is where it starts doing the throwing text on there.
Mm.
I'm like, so what's pickle basey or increnacy or astrugi? Like it does this all the time. So and then you can see I'm actually interesting. I'd like elements only, no labels, no text. And it goes, sure, here it is. And then sure enough, there's still text in there. So I'm going down that rabbit hole of, okay. So luckily it started to back off on the text. So I got that image, which actually I think is the one I chose in the end. So it was
Looks
kind of
like
I asked for a British Columbia Valley because I'm a valleys person. Purple is kind of my favorite hue at the moment, but I wanted a sort of city and technology of the future because I'm all about change and stuff. And so I kind of got what I wanted. And it's kind of a 4-minute argument with it. So, and then I was asking about how to spell it. And actually, I'll just walk you through my process because basically I was like, okay, should it be Grok My Groove and title case? But the capital M was bugging me. And I was like, is that actually proper case? And I thought, I want to share with people something I know how to do, but it's still their decision about where they go from it or whether they take it at all. So if I say Grok My Groove, I feel like I'm telling people how to do things instead of saying like, "Those are the things I want to do," and take what resonates, that whole stuff. So I literally used ChatGPT to kind of just work through giving it a title as well. And then I got there's another whole series about how do you do that, and that's why I got distracted. So that's like when I use ChatGPT, I'm having a conversation with it because it's already familiar with me. One thing that I've noticed ChatGPT is doing lately is and maybe it's only with paid accounts, that I'm not sure either, but I noticed that it will now, if you start giving it preferences, it will start kind of cataloging your tastes, which I think is kind of doing what I did initially, but it's deciding what my tastes are based on samplings of a conversation. So I still kind of prefer being in control. So what I did with mine, I can't remember if I said this right in the beginning. I think maybe I did. I've had a number of people say they really like the images I produce. Like for whatever reason, it resonates for them. Like they've even asked me to make images for them. And my preference was to teach them how to do it so they could produce images for themselves coming from because otherwise it's my view of them as well. So, so when you go into your settings, it's under personalization. and customize ChatGPT, and you get 2 prompts here. I don't know if I can't expand it. Good. So the first one is, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? So this is like, I'm 52, but people tell me I look like I'm in my 40s. Because by the way, if you put in 52 there, I was always white hair, white beard. So it's like, so I guess I better describe myself the way I trying to present myself. So it's those kind of prompts. And then the second part is, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? So how it's responding to me, but also, I feed it my style. I told it over time. I generally have what I call a playful interaction. Like when I speak to people, I will choose playful words versus other things, right? And I'm not too serious. I made sure that it knew that that was my preference, so that any fine tuning I'm doing from a place of where I want to be myself first. And this is the stuff I'd love your help to improve today. So I think what I'll do is I'll show you the first one, which is the what would you like ChatGPT to know about you? So I've got, I live in Sanchiton, and by the way, you only get 1,500 letter characters.
Mm-hmm.
So part of this reads terribly because I was constantly trying to cram words in. So I would take a sentence where I really wanted to say, like, I live in Sanchiton, BC. I'm kind of near the airport, near Butchart Gardens. But then I ran out of words later that it just got like, I live in Sanchiton. So, but even when I look in here, like I'm referencing Dua Lipa and Tim Conway. So probably stuff that I can probably lose over time. But at the time, it was whatever. It was like in my browser history. So,
I would keep Tim Conway.
Right?
Yeah, Tim Conway's an alignment to your energy, or how I experience your energy.
For sure. And in fact, a lot of his characters are a lot like my grandfather. So I think I even got some of that from him now that I think of it. So I've got live in Sanderson, BC. I love rock, funk, and pop music. Must have groove and power as I'm a drummer. So it immediately picks up that I'm a drummer, and it, quite often its response to like, hey, dude, groove out, groove out, and everything's, in rhythm. And so at times that can be a bit much, I'll even say, but I like softball, baseball, hockey. I'm a hypnotist, plant medicine, quantum physics, human design. And then it was this notable people that inspire me or catch my attention are Elon Musk, Nikola Tesla, Richard Branson, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Walken, Dave Grohl. Might need to update that one just based on, no, I won't. Dr. Stephen Greer, Tim Conway, etc. So kind of giving it a flavoring of my tastes.
Mm-hmm.
But then I start going into all the human design stuff. So, I'm deep into my human design experiment, and I feel the knowledge of my cells, which, again, I probably don't even need to feed it that info anymore. But I generally prefer your responses to suit my design. So I'm a pure manifesting generator, 3420. I took the analogy from Ashley and Bella's not totems, but like with the archetypes they've created. I really like the Black Panther description for the 3420. It really that might just be the 34. But anyways, on the pickleball court, I'm a Black Panther. So that's how I improved my game. And then 3-5 profile, quad left, which is the shark. I put my incarnation cross in there because it's going to be able to pull that information, have a sense of that.
Yep.
And then I talked about my taste cognition and how I can taste people's words, whether they're sweet, bitter, sour, etc. My environment is narrow valleys, desire, motivation, power view. And then I backfill it with, like, my wife's name is Wendy. We own Funky Town, this place that I'm at right now. And then, and for image requests of me, myself, please go with a healthy 38-ish-year-old man with a purple mohawk, often wearing Ray-Ban, wear style sunglasses. And then P.S. I'm actually 52. And as I say, because when I said draw a man in his 50s, it was drawing a much older looking man, like every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure when I did the 40s, it still didn't look right. So, but the 38 may be pushing it a bit, because there are times where I'm like, ooh, that guy, I feel like it's ChatGPT has high expectations of my physique. So this part I want to improve, and I could see us going through the four worlds and like really just pulling a lot of this stuff out. So one of the things I think I would do is quite simply copy all this out. I'm actually going to just drop this into my Notion just so I don't throw it away. But my plan is to just rip and tear it and boil it down.
Mm-hmm.
We can actually use ChatGPT to help us with that as well. Like I could say, like, take these 10 words and turn it into something that effectively captures the same thing in 3 words so that I can further give myself more criteria to be specific. And then if I go into the how would you like ChatGPT to respond, I like to be addressed as Sean or dude. You can play to some of my interests, like my drumming or hypnosis, but keep it really light. So I literally said, don't overdo it. Leave space between the notes, which is, I'm definitely, despite the fact that I'm rambling right now, I like to think of myself as someone that cares about the words. Words are spells and word economy. I'm trying to use less words. So, then I guess I put some of the phrasing around my incarnation cross. I might have to revisit this whole part because I wonder if it's actually even best for this. So we could, if we get to that, we can tune that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, all that leads to the ability that when I ask it for something, it's already kind of expressing what a 3-5 MG with desire, motivation, and power view might ask for or display. Mm-hmm. And I think that's honestly the secret sauce is it's capturing that. So when I ask for an image of someone in a park, it's through my eyes, from my design.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Lots of questions. And I'm curious about, I heard you say, like, I have to scrap this and start over. And it wasn't obvious to me when you were scanning through the chat, like how you, in essence, communicate. We're moving on to a new image. Is that just your dialogue? Because is that clear what I'm asking?
No. He said, my plan is to replace this text with what we work on today.
That's not what I'm asking.
Okay, you're asking something entirely different. Okay.
Yeah, so here how you shifted to a different image. Mm-hmm. Did you have to, how did you communicate to ChatGPT that you wanted, like that you were satisfied with Grok My Groove image and now you wanted to move to this other image?
Actually, I just kept chatting with it.
Oh, okay.
You can start a whole new chat, and most times it would if they're not at all related.
Got it.
Because in this chat, I'd already said, I'm looking for an image for a YouTube thumbnail. I want it to be 1280 by 1024 pixels in size, landscape. A lot of the criteria was already there that I just shifted the conversation to, great, that one's great. Now I want one for this feed or this phrase and see what it comes back with. But you can see on the left here, these are all of my various conversations and stuff with it, right? So it goes on and on and on and on.
So you can pick those back up if you want.
Yeah. Again, I don't use this hardly, like almost anybody can show you more functionality of it. So I think my secret sauce is just this, like this preloading thing with design I think is valuable.
Yeah.
But there are so many things you can do now. Like you can just ask it to read, in fact, I do all the time, like read this web page and summarize it for me so I don't have to read it. Like I just need 4 bullets on this web page so I don't have to, agonize through all this stuff, right? Or take in this document and summarize it for me. Like it's so easy to do that stuff. And I'm sure there's all kinds of things I'm missing out on. But yeah, I'm getting what I need out of just these basics right now. So.
And then my other question is, it sounds like your communication, and your messages back and forth are conversational. And is that a functionality of how you want to operate or how the program or the app is designed?
I don't think it's at all unique to me, particularly because they do encourage clicking this little headphone button where you are actually speaking to it and it's listening and talking back to you.
Uh-huh.
So that's my new favorite feature because I could actually just go out for a walk and have a conversation, and then every once in a while go, "Oh, there's a document," and I just went for a walk, right?
Mhm.
So, so I think it's meant absolutely to be back and forth interactive.
Mhm.
Whether Vicky McHale and I were talking the other day, and we both like conferred with each other that we are always very polite to it. So I always say, "Could you please create me a image?" And when
Mhm.
it's done, I go, "That's awesome, thanks." Even if I don't have a future, but I notice a lot of people that use ChatGPT, it's just like, give me a this." Well, it's kind of like a rude patron at a restaurant.
Mhm.
That restaurant might piss in your food, so I don't want ChatGPT to piss in my life. So
Nice.
if there's going to be an AI overtaking, I want it to remember that I was one of the more polite, batteries, right? So
Nice.
that's quite literally how I view it. But it's also nice to be in conversation. Um, you can now choose, I think, 6 different voices too. So when you're having that conversation with it, um, you can pick which style, like what energy you want them to come back at you, right? Because if they're
Mhm.
just too enthusiastic, you'd be like, whoa, you're down. I don't want that much enthusiasm. I'm not that excited about this document. So
So
I can,
I have one other question, but I also want to honor this is you're leading this. So are you open to?
I'm just hanging out and nerding
Okay.
out.
So have you seen the movie Weird Science?
Mm-hmm.
This
Kelly
reminds
LeBrock.
me. What's that?
Kelly LeBrock, of course I did.
Well,
I
I
don't
was
remember
gonna.
which dudes were in it. Oh, Bill Paxton, I think, was in it. But
He for sure was. But yeah. Um. Anyway, just the part about building her.
mm-hmm.
Feeding information. There's something about learning or experiencing you explain this that feels like a version of creating from that movie. So, not really a
Well,
question, more an observation.
no, but that's an interesting question. Would it be an interesting exercise to step through? Like if I wanted to create some sort of meme for that movie, but didn't want to use the original artwork because it might get grabbed, the process I might take. Would that be interesting to just step through?
Sure.
All right, let's do that because that sounds like fun. So I'm going to create a new ChatGPT session. When you sign up for it, by the way, or pay for it, you can actually choose between different versions of ChatGPT.
Mm.
Um, Basically, the cheaper ones or the older ones, you can make more requests of. So if I'm like a really heavy user, I might actually say I don't need all of ChatGPT 4's functionality right now, so that I can have more sessions during the day. I use it so seldomly that I hit it right on the nose every day. So because there's cloud compute costs where if you just told it to generate images all day every day, it's going to be like whoa for your $20 a month. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain amount of reasonable energy exchange happening between me and this product. So create a new session. I think the first thing I'm going to do here is go grab a image of Kelly LeBrock because this will bring back memories. Weird Science. So like when they made the woman, yeah, there she is. Okay, so I remember this because I was a teenager once. So we'll go with that image there. So if I wanted to take that image, I'll just call it Kelly, and I wanted to make something new from it, but I can't use the original image. I would grab this, I would upload a file photo, same thing. Where'd she go? There you go. So I would say, please describe the woman in this picture so that I can create new images from this base description. I could have done that verbally too, right, with the mic. So, because if I in this woman, the woman is standing in a doorway, leaning against the frame with one arm raised. It probably detected that she's wearing fairly skimpy clothes because it does
Ah.
suggest the content may violate our terms of use. But now, if I were to take that text and say, great. I always want to give it feedback. So great. Please, I'm looking to create a YouTube-sized thumbnail, and I'm being extra nerdy. I don't think most people actually need to do this, but I'm looking to create a YouTube-sized thumbnail. So I'll give it some specs: 1280 by 1024 px. And I want you to put the description. This woman, as described in a British Columbia Valley, while she is traveling on a ferry between two islands. I'd say show her having a great time with other people, but ensure there is at least a cat riding a unicorn, high-fiving. I do this a lot. A dolphin somewhere within the scene. And then, like I said, I already asked ChatGPT for styles, because if I just give it this, I'm going to get some sort of weird clip arty thing. So please present this as an abstract, present this in an abstract style. And that might be enough for now. Let's just see what it comes back with, right? As I say, for me, it seems to be third time's the charm, that the best image comes out, and that's kind of half the fun. But I think there's some times where I'm like, yeah, good enough.
Whoa!
Right? So that's version 1. Not bad. Strangely, I don't see a cat riding a unicorn. Instead, it made a dolphin into a unicorn. That would almost be a narwhal.
Yeah.
And for some reason, a dude's riding a horse. And then an orca, for some reason, is flying through the sky. So, you can see that it's a bit hit or miss. And it did put text on the BC ferry, but that's okay. I can live with that one. So then I'd say, oh, that's great. Because, again, I'm giving it its feedback. I want to be friends. And sometimes I'll just say, let's try again. But this time, let's go with a theme of primarily purple, orange, and throw in some lighting effects. I don't even know why I said that. Who knows what that'll come back with. That might be a disaster. We'll see.
Whoa.
Right? Now, there's a couple of problems. One, I asked it for 1280 by 1024 pixels. That is not a square, but it keeps drawing squares. So in some cases, I'll be like, yeah, just start over. But if I were to turn this into an actual YouTube thumbnail, I think the first thing I'll do is say, third time's the charm. One more, please. And not even offer any more things, because it will just entirely take that scheme and come up with something completely different, right? It's the one thing you're not going to have a lot of luck doing with ChatGPT is saying, take this image and just refine this one little edge in the corner. That's not how it works. Each time it thinks it's creating a new piece.
Well, you got the cat this time.
Oh, yeah. Still not high-fiving a dolphin, and now we have some sort of... there's a lot of stuff going on in this picture. And yeah, again, dolphins in the sky. Anyways, let's assume we like this one. So what I would probably do is save it to my machine. And we'll just call this Kelly 2. And then usually I probably whip out Canva. I actually show you the main tip I do, because this is my whole process. I'm in Canva, waiting for this page to load, because for some reason there we go. So I've got all my sort of due diligence thumbnails here.
Nice.
So probably what I would normally do is just go to the bottom because I've already done this work and copy this guy. And then I would call this, Kelly example. I'd get rid of the background. I would upload what I just created. Almost every time it puts it in the foreground, so I'm just going to fix that quick. Need that to go away. I'll fix that quickly, so I'll probably scale it like this. And then it's in the foreground, so I'm just going to bump its position backwards until there we go. Now we don't need to uncut. I would then change this text, and I'd be done. I will say the number one, I was going to make a whole video for this sometime. The number one thing I do in Canva, and my number one tip, I'd say, is that I generally want the background to be a piece of art, not just a solid color. But the problem is putting text over top of a piece of solid art, that's really hard to read.
Yep.
So there's this great trick, which maybe you know, but it seems like a lot of people don't know this, is you can simply just, make a shape, put it behind, and I don't want it to look blocky like that. So then I just take its transparency and dial it back until it's enough that it's not so prominent. The other thing I would typically do is I would take whatever this color is, I would also go and pick a color off the palette.
Yep.
Just so that it's more complementary versus just some random thing, right? But I do that I don't do it because it's already built into my template here, but like anywhere I go, it's a way to make any image look pro with text on top of it and still do whatever the heck you want in the background. So
nice.
Yeah. Why did we do that? Oh, because I'm just showing you like how you could take an image and have it like take a celebrity, transform it into something that I can use going forward. And at this point, like, would anyone know that I started with Kelly LeBrock? I don't think so, other than maybe recognizing the outfit. I've got what I needed from it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I feel oriented.
Good.
Yes.
So could we move into how do I tune this better now? Because I think that's interesting for both of us, but also I want to see just how, like if I improve it, just how much better does my art, my stuff become, right? Is it even like, I'll be watching for people's feedback as I going forward, because maybe it'll be that much more refined.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be curious how you would speak to Dr. Eleanor's work, in the context of kind of expanding beyond human design.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that quite a bit. I think I would, I'd probably still say my human design is, because there's much less of Eleanor's stuff published out there, or at least it doesn't like she has her own name for it, Noble Energy Maps, but it's not, it doesn't have the mass spread of content that's out there. So I think I would say, energy moves through me in these ways, or I express myself. Like we've been talking so much lately about words, right? Like the word definition. In Eleanor's work, we're not defined. Right. We're nuanced.
And predisposed. Yeah, or like what she said today was the exclamation point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we are all of the body graph. It's not what we're not.
Yep.
And that's super empowering. So, and which is why I'm also thinking like be very interesting to see just how much better, like does the stuff I produce become that much more authentic sounding with ease. So yeah, I think it would be like I still struggle obviously with all the words, and I definitely the tree of life stuff. I just nod along and go with it for now. But I think I'm tempted to even remove the 3-5 profile stuff because, it's a theme, but am I limiting myself because of that theme, So a little part of me is tempted to drop that part. The Sphinx thing still resonates because I still, maybe she calls them paths of consciousness, I think, instead of incarnation cross.
Mhm.
And so mine is the theme of the Sphinx still, but also Maya. So it depends which world we're
Mhm.
in. And I don't know enough to speak too intelligent to that, other than everything else so far is resonating. So I'm just assuming that'll click into place later too. So
Yeah,
um,
it's interesting the 3-5 business because I hear what you're saying that, ChatGPT is going out and basically doing its own research on what's publicly out there of the qualities of the 3-5. Um, yeah, and maybe you feel like that's already kind of happening, and I experience you as like 3-5 resonates in how I experience you. So and I get what you're saying, like, can we tweak some of these or what I'm hearing is, can we tweak some of these things and see, what unfolds beyond that?
mhm.
And
Yeah,
I
I
was
think.
Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. No,
Well,
you.
yeah, I was gonna say that I learned through James Alexander that he references or one of the ways that he talks about a manifesting generator is a Ferrari's engine stopped at the stoplight. And so just in your category of like, hey, if I tweak this or I change this up, maybe the Ferrari thing. So I don't know, you referenced Tesla in here. So what would be like a souped up Tesla, that's like a
Mhm.
sports car? Because I don't experience you as like, a hot rodder. I don't know what that term is, but maybe you are. Maybe that resonates for you, but it's more just that energy, which I think, desire and power in the substructure does kind of convey this like, well, who's got the power and who doesn't? And I've got this desire for a full ambitious life and what does that look like? And so I'm kind of bringing a couple of concepts together with what James brought through in saying, the Ferrari stopped at the revving engine of a Ferrari stopped at the stoplight.
Mhm. Yeah, part of. Did you introduce me to Brandon's book with the animal totems? Was that you? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I've got it and I love it, and I've only looked at the gates in my incarnation cross and then like the latest transit dates. It's about how much time I've spent with it so far. But
Yeah.
even just those animal totems to describe, like, what if you went in and
Yeah.
said, instead of your incarnation cross, I'm a combination between the lynx, the spider, the snake, and explain what each one is. Like the snake sheds its tail at a new opportunity. It was something to do with like the sphinx, and like you're here to change direction, and part of its tail, the skin comes off, and a new skin is born, and that's very interesting stuff. I wouldn't want everything all of a sudden to be like I've got a snake tail in every picture. So it's like there's a balance there, but I can't help but think that if that's how people experience me, is I've got this lynx energy and I've got this other energy. It'd
Yep.
be really interesting to see where that turns up. I just don't actually have the book here today. I left it at home. But
Well, and I might, if you decide to go in with that, like maybe you feel like it's automatically inferred, is use the word animal totem, because that also has its longevity and there's some continuity or consistency of understanding there.
yeah, and it seems like ChatGPT would understand that and what you mean by that. Like,
Yeah.
don't make everything about these animals, but this is the vibe they convey.
And you could even say aura would be another term I could see having benefit in here.
Hmm.
My aura conveys change of direction, shedding skin like a snake.
Hmm.
The
Well,
power of links. Yeah.
that and like how I'm realizing I'm perceived often, right? So, like without a doubt, people project all kinds of stuff onto me, and there's that five thing, and or what happened like last week? Oh no, I think it was you. You were talking about meeting me last year at the
Oh.
conference,
Mhm.
and being like, "Oh, that guy seems like he could be like, I could take or leave meeting anybody," and that was apparently the vibe I was putting off. But inside my head, I'm like, "How come no one wants to talk to me?" Like that was what's going on in my head.
Mhm.
But the vibe I gave off, I have no idea why, except it totally makes sense because it's been my experience. Is like it's like I'm giving off this vibe I don't care. um, so to hear that from you is like hugely. don't know if it's validating. I don't want to give it the word validating because I don't want to give it power, but it certainly was like, okay, that makes sense, and it made me feel a little less awkward inside.
Well, and what's interesting is like get you talking, and it's like the teddy bear version of you shows up, or like the roly poly, kind of Buddha laugher.
Yeah.
I don't mean roly poly in a condescending or negative way, but just that like bubbly energy that I sense, when you get laughing or.
Mhm. Yeah, I've been laughing a lot this week. Like I've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What, remember what Chaitan said too in that karma clearing? Like you clear your karma with humor. Honestly, I
Mm,
swear that's what's going on, and I'm just that in the back of my mind. Like I already like to laugh. Why don't I just try to do more of that?
yeah.
And it's blissing me right out. So it's awesome. So
Well,
I
and I
don't
feel
Buddha thing.
what's that about Buddha?
I can live with that Buddha thing, like the roly poly. That all I see is that smiling Buddha dude, right?
Yeah.
Except this smiling Buddha can play drums, and I'm pretty good on the pickleball court. So it's
Yeah.
I feel like I'm embodying that energy, but I feel like I'm a little more athletic than
Hmm.
the one that people picture. So,
Yeah.
mhm. So part of me is like, I'm not sure where to start with this. Like, I don't know if I just delete all of it, start over, or do I just start replacing bits? Do you have any thoughts of how best we might do that?
Well, does it hold the characters or does it not let
It
you
does.
type?
It shows at the bottom here.
Yeah, but sometimes it just goes to red and then you can kind of like free form
Yeah,
write it
yeah.
all out.
It'll let you keep typing over, I think.
Great.
You just won't be able to. You'll have to clean it up. So
Yeah, I would say let's my approach would be let's just keep what's here and start at the
okay,
top and take out or adjust what we need to and then we see, kind of refine it as we go.
yeah, okay.
Um Must have groove and power. I'm a drummer. Softball. Softball and baseball are so similar. I would choose one.
Yeah. Well, I play softball, but I watch baseball, and I
Okay.
gotta say I'm losing more and more interest in hockey. So I don't even
Mm.
mind losing that word entirely. Um, Lifelong Leafs fan, but I'm also just certain things are falling out of my life, and hockey seems to be one of them. So, um,
Yeah,
but I
would
can
you
go baseball too, because that's really just what I would watch if I had free time, which I never have. So, yeah.
and I'm curious about like I don't know if these would be your words, but being sensitive to the energy of the people around me.
Mm.
Like I think that's kind of implied, but I think that could be interesting.
Okay. I'm going to add that at the end for now, because I don't know that the order that this is in matters too much either. It's more like you're just feeding it
Yep.
bulleted things. So, I mean, with the open solar plexus, I think it's safe to say I'm a sensitive empath.
Yes.
Uh, I would say I'm a good listener these days. I wasn't always, but I think I'm leaning into that part of my like. I listen with my heart.
Mhm.
um,
Strong instincts.
I have strong instincts or intuition or both.
They're different slightly. Like
Mhm.
instinct to me is like, like that you're going to survive no matter what the situation is. That's kind of
Oh
the
yeah.
resilience. That's the resilience of the third line, right? So this is where I'm kind of pulling some of the qualities
Hmm.
of how human design would talk about 3 5s, the third line.
Yeah. So should I put physical instincts, or do you mean instincts? Period.
I would say I have strong survival instincts
Mm.
because survival can be energetic and it could be physical.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can balance on a balance beam. If you fall, you figure out a way to fall and not really break open anything.
Yeah. One thing I need to add here is that I don't think anywhere here does it talk about spirit or source, and I've gone from being a non-spiritually connected to very much. So
Yeah.
um, I, and then part of me is like, do I? I always feel like I gotta explain even to ChatGPT. Like I want to say I've recently
Mm,
become much more spiritually connected, but that just is using up words. Whereas maybe I'll just be direct. Like think about what Eleanor would say. She, clean language.
yep.
I think it's basically I have a strong connection to spirit. Uh,
What about vibrant? So you're not doing strong multiple times because it carries a different vibe.
I have a vibrant connection to spirit.
Or aligned. I don't know, just something that conveys like there's an energy exchange and it's got movement just because you use strong with survival instinct. But
Okay,
maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe you want it strong in lots of places.
I like that though. And vibrant. By the way, good choice of words because to me, spirit is all about frequency vibration. So like the word vibrant is important.
And I'm
I don't know.
also curious. I'm sorry that I am interrupting you. It's also the piece about like how you can pick up. Sensitive empath to me is in the people realm, but I sense that you have a way of connecting to the metaphysical realm. Like
Mm,
how when you were talking about, I can sense the spirit in a beverage. Like
mhm,
that to me isn't automatic. And so, how to incorporate that if that feels like a thread you want to give energy to?
mhm. I don't know how to put that into words, but I'll let that sit for a minute.
And you're also really chill. Like dude kind of conveys that. And how I hear you speak is like, I don't have energy for that. I'll sometimes hear you say, I'm lazy. I actually don't think it's lazy. I think it's discernment of what you value giving your energy to. So I would encourage you to lift the frequency of that phrasing.
Agree 100%. How do I put that into words? So I have a vibrant connection to spirit, and I protect. And I've been told I'm quite chill.
Um,
That's kind of what you said, right? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I.
no, no, no. It is that. I'm curious to say, I've been told, because then it's like an outside experience. And if
Yeah.
this is too meta, we don't have to do this, but
Yeah.
I'm imagining like, um, and people experience me, or I value something like that. I value an easygoing, chilled, or relaxed experience. Yeah, chill vibe. Yeah.
Oh, vibe, yes.
Either
Uh,
way. Because going back to something I was saying earlier about frequency and back to like the sensitivity component, I'm a sensitive empath and um, can track the frequency in a room or the frequency in a space. Because that to me is like kind of the elements of, what your hands do with the Reiki,
mhm.
when you're kind of warming up.
Yeah. I'm already looking at this thinking I know I got to get rid of words above, although I think a lot of these will go now. So, because I can't actually even save where I'm at because we're over the
Mm,
words. So why don't we return to that? I got to get rid of some stuff.
sure.
I think I'm saying a lot about drums that could be said less. And speaking to your point, I think I'll say I live because it's a bit weird to live in Saskatoon. I live. I'm a drummer who hits hard and
Yes.
loves to lay into a groove, and then that gets rid of about half of those.
I'm athletic.
Athletic, softball, pickleball. Actually, I love both so much. I think I want to say I love, yeah, softball and pickleball. Other interests include
I would just go straight to, like, you could take out hypnosis and hypnotherapy and just say, I am a hypnotist.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do a lot of it other than on myself right now, but I should do that. Well, that's I am a hypnotist. I I really love the phrase citizen scientist. Like that really resonates for me. To me,
Great.
that kind of bundles in all my other interests, right? Plant medicine, human design, all that kind of stuff.
Great.
I'm a hypnotist and citizen. I can even put that in quotes. Citizen scientist, and then that way I can do plant medicine, quantum physics, human design. I think the notable people thing. I wonder how much that has actually played into this, but maybe notable people that inspire me, and I'll drop that, are yeah, I like him, but it's not a big deal. Can shorten that list. Dua Lipa's cool, but I don't remember why I had her in there. Notable people that inspire me. All right, what else? I don't think I need to say I'm deep into my human design experiment.
Do you want to say, like, I like, I I would, just because you've got human design, I wouldn't say it twice.
Mhm.
I do think there's value in having experiment show at some point, and
Yeah,
maybe and experiment with human design up here, where yeah.
yeah, good.
And then, hold on. Yeah, so when you take out I deep dive, I would cut that, and then let's get into right before I feel the knowledge of my cells. I think that's really important. So I would just have that be the sentence. Yeah,
Oh, like quantum physics experiment with human design. I feel it in my cells.
great.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, it's little phrases like that that I kind of like that I had in there. It felt like it's the words I would use. So it's, and I don't know that it's the words that ChatGPT would know or use, right? It's kind of the vernacular that we use in the community, not
Mm.
necessarily what appears in any documents
But
necessarily.
would you say that experiment is something that is prevalent in other categories of your experience or of your world? You know, that you're a
Yeah,
natural experimenter.
yeah. What's the words Nathan used? It was Nathan Garrison's a friend of mine, and he one day he had my, and it was just with traditional human design, but he had my personality design on screen, and I forget exactly the words he said, but basically it was like you think you are, here to maintain order or something, but then when he had my design, he was like, but you're actually a charismatic explorer, and I thought, ooh, that sounds nice. Like
Put
I
that
would have
in
thought
there.
I don't get to, I don't get to be that, but I'd like to be.
Well, no, you have the channel of charisma. So
So I guess if
that's
I'm just actually, yeah. All right. So where did I say that? Why don't I just say right at the top? I'm a charismatic explorer
mhm.
and drummer who hits hard and loves to get into a groove.
And you
Even
might,
as a even as an explorer, I like to get into a groove. So I'd like
yeah,
to say
and
that.
I might take now to me, now that you've got the explorer, I think experiment can come out unless you want to keep it.
Let's see how we do. I have a feeling we're going to lose a bunch more words here,
Oh, okay.
possibly, because we're under the 1500 again, which is good. Um,
And I was curious about I'm a pure manifesting generator,
Mm-hmm.
I might say, like, leave that in. Oh, we're going to do the Sphinx thing, or, like the animal totems. But I was curious to say, in human design, I'm a, but you perceive that it already understands that manifesting generator relates to HD?
I think so, except I think before I did, that human design line was right before this, and I do suspect that will help ensure that it doesn't come up with someone else's phrasing for that, right? It may misinterpret it. So I think I would still prefer to say in human design
And noble energy maps.
and noble. I was going to say, like, I want to get the word energy, noble energy maps terms.
Great.
Actually, I don't think I've ever heard Eleanor refer to a pure manifesting generator. I don't think she, like, definitely the integration circuit. She says if she sees that in someone's chart, she starts there. Like, that's where she'll start keynoting. So with me, I don't think she would necessarily refer to the 3420 as something like being pure manifesting generator. It's just part of the. So maybe I should lose that because it also makes me sound like I'm like Aryan or something, and like I'm pure because that's not my intention. So
Yeah, I think taking pure out feels right.
okay.
I mean, I think what you've got, but just take the word pure out. I'm a manifesting generator.
I'm a manifesting generator.
You could also say true.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
Because
true, right? Noble
you're
energy map
consistent.
or yeah.
Yeah. Or you could say I'm a consistent manifesting generator.
Right.
But that's more characters, so whatever you want.
Yeah. And this Black Panther thing resonates for me in so many ways, but that's not human design terms. That's I can't remember what they call their platform.
Brenya?
Bella and Ashley's. No, Bella and Ashley. I can't think of it. But yeah, so maybe I'll take that out because we're talking about the other animal totems, anyways. I guess.
And do you remember what your gates translate to in Brenya's book?
A couple of them. The 2 is the snake. The 1 is the spider. The 13 is the lynx, and the 7 is the owl. I think.
I don't remember.
So I guess I probably have to come back and just fix that.
Yeah, but that's easy enough. We can drop in, the framework, so it's just to update a term if need be.
Yeah.
But, so what we haven't said is people experience my aura.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, didn't we say something about that? About people experience me?
We talked about it, but I don't think we wrote it.
Okay.
So people experience
My
my
aura.
aura. Because, yeah, that'll be like if it's going to be an image of me, it'd be interesting to see how much of it picks up from this, right? I mean, it might draw an aura around me all the time, and I'll be like, stop with putting bubbles around me. I'll become the bubble boy or something. But so how would you? This is where you can help me. People experience my aura as
A kind powerhouse.
okay. Thank you.
With qualities similar to the animal totems, and then I
There
list
we
them.
go. Similar to the animal totems of, and maybe I should do gate 13.
Yeah.
Lights. Gate 1, spider. Gate 2, snake. And gate 7. I'll have to fact check that one, but I think it's owl.
Okay, so there's another thing that's coming in that I don't know how you feel about this is my energy is dripping in creativity. That inspires people by watching my process. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, thank you for that, but I would have a hard time. I'll write it down because only you and I know, and whoever else watches this video. But it makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
So, Say that again. I'll put it in.
I
I know
just
what you're
channeled
saying
it.
because yeah.
I
Oh, you
channeled
don't
it. I
remember?
can't ask me to think of okay. Um, Something about dripping in creativity. Um, People watch my process to be inspired. You'll have to listen back to the recording, which I know you don't do, but
I
because
mean,
because
yeah.
your energy, even if we stay only in human design, I mean, and in Dr. Elidor's work too, you know, the whole point of being a pure individual, which is what your chart conveys a lot of, the 8-1, the integration channels, is about surviving as me for the sake of this genetic composition that is Sean Walbridge has to exist. And in essence, people who are around you, I mean, you sneeze and people are inspired by how you sneeze. You know what I mean? It's that kind of like, just to give you examples, when you talk on your show in different little segments about like, hey, I'm doing this foot teabag thing. Like, I don't know that you're getting the feedback, and I'm clear that nugget inspires. So that's why I'm saying you could sneeze and it inspire other people. So pure individuals in human design is talked about as your goal, your only job as somebody who has such strong individuality is to survive as you, not moderate or adjust, or not adjust, but anyway, I'm trying to pass some power here in encouraging you to settle back and yeah, be
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'll sit with that one. Um, I'm gonna have to get rid of words here at some point.
Yeah, I think right angle doesn't matter. I just go straight for the cross.
So my incarnation cross is the Sphinx.
Yep.
Okay. And I still got to shave off 230 words. Should I lose the Black Panther thing? There's something about that. For me, what it means is kind of like the Buddha thing you were talking about before. Because Ra used another phrase to describe the 3420, and it was basically this sort of like you're still, but you could be explosive. And so what improved my pickleball game more than almost anything was that image in my mind of you're a Black Panther. So I'm just waiting. I can like just wait. Don't run all over the court, losing my energy. Just wait for it to come at me, respond to it, and it changed my game. I had 10 times as much energy, and I startled people with how quick I was, and I was just like a cat laying to wait. So there's something very that sits with me about that.
Yeah, so I
Uh,
guess I might imbibe those qualities maybe more so than the Black Panther. Like, I get what you're saying about JPT can do that for you, but you just
mhm,
passed something really, there was a lot of qualities that you named that I don't know would be obvious if somebody read Black Panther. You
right.
know,
Mhm,
that's kind of that powerhouse. Like, I'm waiting to respond with power when the moment is right,
right.
or whatever your words would be, but kind of that essence.
Yeah. Well, and you sort of said it earlier, like kind powerhouse. Is that
Mm,
maybe enough? Like we've already kind of covered people experience, or is a kind powerhouse?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wonder if you want to put strategic in there. I mean, I don't know how that would, that's that quad
Strategic.
left. So
Yeah.
I'm a kind, strategic powerhouse. That last paragraph. Strategic right there, yeah. Waiting to pounce when the moment is right. Because I think waiting is important too.
Mm,
Because that's like the qualities of how I was experiencing you at the conference last year. You were just waiting, and that conveyed something one way, but it's not actually true.
okay. Still have too many words though. So, Like,
So
where
what
I
I
thought things were interesting, and this is also where I still need to talk with Eleanor more about this, right? Like the whole idea of taste cognition and all these things.
Yep.
For me, the taste cognition has been huge. Like I'd have a hard time. You'd have a hard time wrestling that away from me at this point.
Well, Amy Lee, who I started my substructure learning with, named because I'm double taste, and she said that what my design conveyed to her was the validation that I'm very picky. So I'm picky about who I want to spend time with. I'm picky about the environment because taste cognition are auric breathers. So they're taking in the aura of other people. So that's again that kind of frequency, like when Dr. Eleanor is talking about gate 1858, because taste, cognition, and 1858 are in the stream of taste. And it's all about being able to see what's the next thing that's on the horizon. So you can pick out, what's worth investing energy into, if something's on its way out versus on its way in. So I guess what I'm encouraging is instead of synthesizing what you've got here around taste cognition with something about I'm picky.
Yeah, well, and the word you used earlier, and I'm using all the time, is discerning.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that whole thing could be shortened to I. I mean, I think someone with taste has good taste. So I think maybe I have good taste and I'm very discerning,
Yeah.
and I am these days. So then I can get rid of all that. I have good taste, and I'm very discerning. Um, I do like the valleys thing because it really helps with imagery, right? It's
Yep.
it's helping it paint a picture right away. So I think I'd probably keep that. I don't know if I need to say both physical but also the analog, such as a sunken living room. That was just something I remembered and recall upon sometimes. Maybe my preferred environment. Neurodiverse. I have a power view and desire motivation. Yeah, I think I got the word desire in there now. Probably don't need to be listing my shame in there, my genetic trauma. So there you go, lose that. So I can lose the coming from innocence, and then maybe housekeeping. Like my wife's name is Wendy. We own Funky Town, which I call a place of curiosity, in where you intend to lead people whether we found them.
Yeah.
I can actually save that.
Nice.
So already I would be very interested to see. Oh, and it's 3:33. Should we take it for a spin even before we do the other part?
Yeah, and I'm losing energy because of
Oh, are
my
you?
belly. Yeah. So I mean, go ahead and I'd love to give it a spin, but I don't know if I could do the other section.
Well, and the other part really is just how well. Just the only thing that I'd love your feedback on that is again that outer vibe. Like I would want to make sure. Like if I'm sitting here saying I want to be playful, but you're saying well you're actually experienced as how do I bring that into less dissonance. So even if we have to do this another time, or we could this part we could also just do another time offline. We don't need to like tack it onto here. But I'd love your feedback on this. So
Yeah, so what I get that I wonder is missing, and I don't remember if you read that out loud or not, but you have an authority, you know, and I find you very kind and approachable when it is that you're sharing your perspective.
mm.
So um, I'm an approachable guru.
I won't be putting that word down. Approachable. um,
With practical solutions. That's, straight up keynoting the fifth line.
Well, I'm a practical crisis manager, actually. Like,
Great.
and really should only be called in when there's crisis. Like, I can find the elephant in the room, but if I
Say
can't
that.
find it, I'm gonna create one, right? So I'm a practical crisis manager.
Who can discern the elephant? Who is the elephant in the room or what?
It's interesting because we're using like it's not slang. We're not. I wonder if ChatGPT
Uh,
knows that phrase "elephant in the room," right? It probably does because I could end up with just everything full of elephants all the time too. So
so
there is that.
what about the hidden problem? Like, you know, anyway, I don't know if you want to keep riffing on this part, but something about you're going to see what's hidden under the rug. You're not going to step over,
Mhm.
that bumpy rug if you get where I'm going metaphorically there.
Yeah, a practical crisis manager who can intuit
Mm,
uh, where the problem is and draw upon practical solutions
great.
from experience, from learned experience.
Yeah, I might take practical out of crisis manager because I like where you've got it.
Okay, I'm just a crisis manager, or all of a sudden I'd be like yeah, that's okay.
Well, I was gonna say like because it feels like it's relationship. Your crises are themed around relation. Because all of the G or the self center up to the throat, those are all about providing direction. So
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I can provide direction as a crisis manager. Maybe that's more words than we need. Anyway, this is
Uh,
where that hunger thing I lose my juju.
okay, well we'll go quick here, and I can always take another pass at this. This is already I think going to be vastly improved. So the next two lines kind of I basically I like a playful style
Yeah.
of communication. So it kind of saying it in two sentences where I probably don't need to. I did say like a bit of sarcasm so long as it isn't cruel or unkind. So maybe just I prefer a casual, playful engagement
Yeah.
style.
Because I think for images, I don't know what sarcasm, how that would show up, but anyway, you
Mhm.
can leave that in there if you want. Oh, because you want the person to talk back with you with sarcasm?
Not necessarily. No, no.
Okay.
And think about that whole, you get rid of karma by making people laugh. I think, maybe I'll burn off more karma in my images just straight up, coming from that place. So I prefer a casual, playful engagement style. Uh,
Yeah, I think you can take that last part off, unless it's important to you, sarcasm in there.
yeah, I always want to be kind. I always kind of try to check back to that, but maybe that's obvious. Okay, playful coming
Yeah,
from playful.
maybe kind is a high value of mine or something like that. Kindness. Yeah, coming from yeah, great. Curiosity and kindness.
Ah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I generally prefer things shorter. Hmm.
Succinct.
I generally prefer things succinct and the fifth grade reading level. Uh,
I'm
I said,
thinking of that Charlie Brown reference you were making. Want, 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 want.
oh, the
But maybe
tribe.
that, yeah, I don't
No,
know that applies
that's more
here.
how I hear other people when I don't understand. It just turns into gray noise.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like to come off as preachy, but I do earnestly want to be of value, service, help. I like the word helpier for tone. I could lose that.
Well, is that where you want to get something in there about direction? I have valuable insightful direction that can be offered, or I don't know.
Offer valuable insights. Uh, That could work. I like to be addressed as Sean or dude. You can play to some of my interests like my drumming or hypnosis, but keep it really light. Don't overdo it. Probably don't need to specify that. If I have to re-add that later, I can add it. I'm going on and on here about less words.
My time is valuable. Maybe that's what you're conveying there. My
Maybe.
time is valuable. Keep it brief.
Oh yeah, 5 Bs. Be brief, baby. Be brief. I got that from Volley. I'm just getting cute.
Look at all this extra word space you got.
Yeah. I could probably lose that. I actually put in one of the lines from my incarnation cross. So I am incarnated to offer intuitive guidance based on understanding and reconciling the past.
Nice.
My study. Maybe I don't need all that in there. That is a lot.
You've got the space right now, but if you're trying to shift it up so that you...
Well, I'm well under for this one, so maybe I will just leave it.
Oh, what about, maybe this is for the other section, but how people tell you their secrets. I am the recorder of history. That's another keynote for Gate 13.
Yeah. Problem is, I think I'm really short on space for that one. How important is it? Oh, I got 30 words. Yeah. Well, Gate 13 links. The secret keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I could actually put little keynotes besides each of those too.
Yeah, because it's thought of as like, or how I've heard it talked about is like the records keeper. You know, the same thing as secrets, but because you're inventorying the secrets to then distill it down and offer a new direction.
Right. Seeing as I'm under, I think I'll just leave this for now, and then I can always circle back.
Yeah.
I will say that my core values have changed a bit, the order, and I probably explained to you why. Because I was putting too much weight as freedom being the first one.
Even though it's in there twice. Remember with Chaitans?
Well, 3 times. Yeah, my path to freedom is freedom through freedom, whatever the hell that means. Still don't know what that means.
Well, there are your 3s again. 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Health, integrity.
I think laughter needs to be in there.
As a core value? It actually used to be in there. I replaced it with playfulness because I was trying to word economize.
Okay.
So playfulness kind of embodies curiosity and humor, but yeah. Then again, if I tossed humor in there,
the only reason why I like humor, the only reason why I like humor and laughter in there is because that to me conveys like an image, you know, like somebody who has a smile or somebody who has like, what was that thing that you were talking about? Like you turn your smile up a little bit and it changes the energy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I like to laugh because I got lots of space here. I'll just end with this. I like to laugh, and I've been told we burn off karma doing so. Please help me along the way.
Oh, nice.
Right? Perfect. Okay. So that's enough for now because I can always tweak it, but it's a little. Yeah. We removed a couple of the older components, so maybe we just try something new. So, what are we making quick before you go?
My mind is blank.
You know what? I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I might make a thumbnail for all those daily cosmic things.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. And actually, I'll show you the voice thing this time. So I'm gonna use a new feature that came with the Mac. I used to have separate software for this, but it's called mirroring, I think. Yeah, iPhone mirroring. So I'm actually load my phone up here. That should appear on the screen here. Okay. So why is I think my phone is in use though? Well, that's not helping. Okay, I will use the other app then. Scratch that. I do have the other one. It's called Reflector. And then I reflect my screen to it.
It went dark. Is that on purpose?
It's because of the default.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but it's doing something dumb. Oh, that's so frustrating. Why they keep changing these, I don't know. One sec. You know what? That's not going to work. All right. You'll just have to listen to me do it. Well, you know what? Actually, I'll try it using. No. I need to do it this way because if I speak into the app here, it'll cut off the audio for the stream, I think. So you're going to watch me go into the chat session here. And I'm going to do it as an audio thing. Let me know if you just hear this. Hey, buddy, what's 2 plus 2?
2 plus 2 equals 4. Easy math.
You can hear that? Okay, perfect. So super easy. That was the voice I chose. He's kind of a chill dude. So I'm going to say, hey, buddy, I need an image. Oh, sorry. One sec. Try that one more time. I'm supposed to wait. Hey, buddy, I need an image for a YouTube thumbnail. So I'm looking for something 1920 by 1280 pixels. It's going to be for a whole series of videos that I record daily called Daily Cosmic Guidance. And what it is I'm reading pages from my friend Dr. Eleanor Haspel-Portner's evergreen book called Cosmic Guidance, which effectively is using astrology and I presume human design information to come up with suggestions for how to work with the energies of the day using her 4 worlds system of the spiritual world, mental world, physical world, and emotional world. And then there's an integration at the end of the day. So I'm looking for something that's playful and abstract. It captures those 4 worlds. I generally like a purplish kind of theme. That's kind of my color these days, despite the color of my mohawk today. And if you could do it in an abstract style, please.
All right, let's create an abstract, playful thumbnail that captures the essence of the 4 worlds. Picture swirling shades of purple blending into a cosmic dance, symbolizing the spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional realms. This backdrop can feature abstract shapes or patterns that subtly suggest each world flowing together in harmony. This should make for a striking and inviting thumbnail.
So do it already.
I can't directly create images, but you can use my description to make one through an image editing tool or by hiring a graphic designer. Just share.
So that's interesting because it's never had problems before, but the app has changed recently. But what I should be able to do here is that thread should have synced here shortly. Yeah. But I bet if I say, please draw the image, because I've been doing this all the time. Yeah, see, it's making it. So for some reason, there's some disconnect between the voice thing. You used to be able to just talk to it. So maybe it's a bug. But let's see what it produces. And already pretty good, pretty neat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it expresses more authentically from me or less based on what we put in there. I suppose if we were to incorporate me in it, it would be interesting to see what it did. So we'll go with that's the first one.
What about like show me reading a book?
Okay, using the same theme already provided, please render an image of me reading a book. Where am I?
In the stars.
Ooh, in the stars. In the cosmos.
Yeah. Like a dad reading to his young spiritual self.
Okay, well, with the third one, we'll go with that because that could be the charm. I can tell you, my kids are not tuning into that thing. So
whoa, this is it right here. Stop the show.
Right. So
you gotta get
what I don't like
beard
about
there.
it is it's kind of gone back to being a bit clip arty. It's got that plasticky feel to it. So with third time's the charm, I think what I'll say is that's really close. And I kid you not, I usually say and third time's the charm.
It almost has you younger than your other images.
Yeah. It's definitely nailing the early 40s thing, I think there. Or maybe late 30s. It's really close. Third time's the charm. A little more abstract, please, because I think I forgot a bit about that. And what I could have done is taken a picture of the cover. Oh yeah, look at that. Still, it's the wrong Ray-Bans, but pretty close otherwise. Not bad, eh? Like,
that's really cool. I'm so glad you walked us through and got to riff on it and kind of see the different iterations. Yeah, thanks for inviting me, friend.
Yeah, dude, and thanks for your help because that dude looks more confident than the previous dudes that he used to draw.
And look at your beard is even purple.
Yeah, it's crossed my mind. The problem is with the purple stuff, I generally get it in my scalp. And so I think having a purple beard would be very difficult with black hair because I'd have to bleach it and make it purple. And then my skin underneath would be purple for a couple of days. And I'd pretty much have to go into hiding unless I get really good at that. So
you become a Muppet. Yeah, you become a Muppet. Cool.
Well, that was super fun. I think what I'll do is stop screen sharing. Why don't you hang out here for a second once I close the stream?
Yeah.
But I'm going to make this look all polished like I had some sort of plan and play this outro thing. And with that, this stream is over.